welcome to what I like to call the rabbit holiest hole of holes segment of the show.
RHHH.
Where RHHH.
You're gonna have to edit this together later.
Where we take you to lands unknown. Okay. I'm just kidding, but this is kind of a hodgepodge of some of our favorite things that stuck out from today. Starting with
this isn't nailed it, but it's almost kind of like a nailed
kind
it.
of close to nailed it.
It's like a cooler.
Zeke, let's throw a VO50 here. This has been a topic of interest that the Mavs themselves have wanted to find and track down. This is Cooper Flagg's debut rookie patch card. It was autographed to start. I think it was at the start of last year.
I think so, yeah.
And kind of sent into the wild, obviously, as cards do. Mm-hmm. But the Mavs put a bounty out for this. They wanted it, either for Cooper specifically, because these players now are kind of collectors of their own memorabilia to some degree, if not just to display it for themselves on that front. So they put a bounty out for it. And just to give some perspective on it, the jersey, which obviously this is part of, but the jersey Flagg wore in the first half of his NBA debut sold for $1 million in February. The current valuation for the most recently highest paid Flagg card is $366,000, so a third of that. This will probably net a pretty sizable chunk if
Absolutely.
The person wants to sell it. Members
Or
of
you can do this bounty.
Right, exactly. Members of Roadie Breakers are the ones that found this. It was a division of baseball cards in a Rhode Island retail shop. They opened up a box of trading cards and found it. Apparently, they found it on stream.
It did, yeah.
But the reality is, since the Mavs won it, part of the bounty was 2 Mavs premium tickets for 32 years.
Season tickets.
A signed, game-worn Flagg rookie jersey, plus a post-game photo with the star, private photo shoot with the Rookie of the Year trophy, an expenses-paid road trip with the team, and more. They wanted this thing. This is just another example of how, card culture is so ingrained into sports in general. We kind of take it for granted a little bit because most of us grew up with some, right? Like we have either sitting in a binder someplace or anything along those lines. It's turning into its own market, and it's crazy how quickly it's growing because people want that feeling of ripping and discovering something new, but also just that nostalgia. It's part of our lives.
Okay, so didn't they find it in Maine?
It was Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Yes.
Rhode Island. Sorry.
Yes. No, that's okay.
That side of the country.
But yeah, it was on the stream, and it was crazy to see them they kind of got almost emotional that they found. They're like, oh my god,
dude, yeah, no, it's an experience when you open something and you understand the weight of what you're seeing, right? Especially given that the press that this thing has had, to open that up and discover it must have been like, is this real? You know what I mean? Like
the national treasure.
Seriously, yeah.
Movie reference.
They didn't have. Oh,
Thank you.
Let's go.
They didn't have to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Well. One of the
You were
same.
close.
PLG up next, I think.
So classic. The soccer guy is going to talk about a soccer story. So this is actually pretty insane that Messi might retire, maybe.
Which
potentially?
we've been assuming was we assumed this would be his last World Cup.
Yeah.
We didn't know when his official retirement would begin.
But so today he posted his the first time he's said anything publicly since his father passed away last Friday. It was basically a very, very long message, basically, him grieving and saying, I don't know what I'm going to do without you. I miss you so much. But the point that, the part of it that I want to point out in here is that he said, I've only ever played football, and now I have doubts about continuing to do it much longer. And it's notable because he hasn't come back to play for Inter Miami yet.
Right.
The last time he's played was the World Cup final. And granted, yes, it was. We were talking. It was 15 or so years ago when they played at MetLife in the Copa America final, and he retired for all of a month, and then he came back. But he was 29 back then.
And that was a little bit more of a statement about the organization, more so than him.
Yes, and so but it was nice. Ronaldo, gave a nice message there. He's getting.
I was going to say he's getting married. So they're kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum right now.
He's gotten a lot of support from David Beckham. Luka Doncic was in there as well.
Yep.
But that was the part of it that was interesting to me is at this point in his career, he's 39. A part of this message too, he said that his body broke down during the World Cup.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of tidbits in there. I'm like, is he really gonna just never not? Did we just see the last of the GOAT here in Dallas? A month ago?
Yeah.
Well, part of me wonders if he, if he's battling with, do I go out with my last game having been played at a World Cup match, or do I do a Leagues Cup match or a MLS in Miami match?
But they are the defending champs. So
right.
Yeah.
But so many people want that positive image leaving the field,
They
and
do.
that's what I'm sure he's wrestling with. If they had won the World Cup final, I have no doubt he'd probably just say, I'm done.
Right off on the sunset.
Yes.
But I also think I mean, I don't know. I think there's something to be said for wanting, like, going into a match knowing it's your last.
Right.
And having the kind of celebration that is versus looking back and saying, oh, that happened to be my last match.
Yeah. We're coming up against it here real quick.
Yep, so I'll tee this up really quick. This is a wild video. It's SOT 52. There was a snake in a helmet?
Seriously. Go ahead, Zeke.
Do we need to get
He's coming. Just wait, because he's going to move. There he is.
Amy, you're going to have to get ready. Or somebody with your snake tongs.
I just don't want to freak him out.
Yeah, just wait. Give him a second to get out of this, and then we'll move this out.
Oh, my gosh.
Why am I watching?
You can see it.
You can see his
Why
head.
am I still watching?
You see in the tongue.
Yep.
No, unfortunately.
He's coming.
Oh,
Watch
my
out, his
gosh.
head's about to be at the top of the...
This is inside a high school football player's helmet.
That's insane.
And this is a cottonmouth, by the way. This is a venomous snake.
And there are his
What's
fangs?
going
Oh, no,
on?
that's his tongue.
What are we doing out here? What are you going to do with him?
So this is out of Arkansas.
That's
Oh, Arkansas.
legitimately terrifying. I am double checking every piece of equipment I will ever wear for the rest of
So
my
they
life.
go and they
Watch
grab him.
it.
Boom.
Ow!
Perfect.
Snake cut him out. There you go. Nice job.
Oh, yeah,
Well
they
done.
pull him out.
My God.
Yeah,
Crap.
no, that's insane. You said it was 2 feet long?
2 feet long is the report. Yes, it was at a high school football practice. They said the player kind of noticed oh, there's something wrong with my helmet. Yes, he was wearing it, and he was like, oh my goodness, my helmet feels weird. And
Like I said,
he took it to his assistant coach to check it, and they're like, there's a snake in here.
No. You can. I can promise you, I would never be on a football field again. I would never.
Again, double checking every piece of equipment I ever have for the rest of my life. I've been have you ever grabbed something and felt like a cricket or something around? No,
Yes.
Anything along those lines will freak me out. I don't need a 2 foot long venomous snake around my head.
Correct.
He wore the helmet for nearly an hour, and he wasn't bitten. That's the craziest part.
Which is nuts. That's crazy.
I want this story to end. I want this show to end because I want the story to end. I'm just kidding. I don't want the show to end because I love